grind, to the hustle, the pursuit of wealth. Every story, every journey, every climb from the shelf. Here's to the drive, to the fight, to pursuit of wealth.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pursuit of Wealth podcast with co-host Mr. Jace Wright here. Can't forget to intro you.
Let's do it.
So today's episode, I'm really excited because, you know, we've kind of been talking about the new direction of the podcast. We've talked about some finances, kind of some beginning steps to getting your finances in order. We're going to use today's episode to talk about the group that we're going to start. Mm-hmm. It's really kind of like, it's going to be kind of integrated with this podcast. We've had so many people reach out and kind of ask questions about the group. We didn't really know what we're doing yet. And so we kind of just announced it on one of the podcasts. It's something that we wanted to do, but now we're kind of ready to roll it out. And I'm excited for what this is going to be. So we're going to be, I don't want to say it's a men's group. It's probably going to be predominantly men because that's a lot of our listeners. Mm-hmm. It's kind of who we've been talking to. And we're going to limit it to about between 10 to 20 guys. It's going to be a free group, and it's really going to be centered around, like, if you want to develop better habits, better behaviors, if you've been struggling to make some changes that you've wanted to make, whether it's in your finances, your fitness, your relationships, the group is designed to help you achieve those things. A lot of the times it's not, I'm the same way. Like, I put a lot of pressure on myself if I say I'm going to do something and I don't do it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's not all on you. It's, do you have the support system and the tribe behind you to help you hit and reach your goals and change your behaviors and develop the habits that you want? And so that's really what the group's going to be about. And we're going to share at the end of this, how you can, we're going to have some applications. Essentially, people apply to the group because we're limiting it to 10 to 20 people. We're going to have a survey that goes out that's just going to ask some basic questions to make sure that you're a good fit for the group. We want you to be fully transparent with the survey. Don't hold back any information. One of the survey questions is really, are you going to be honest and upfront with your finances, with your health, with your relationships, and be willing to share and contribute to the group?
What I love about this that I'll highlight on is, so growing up in our kitchen, my mom had a quote it was big, bold, and we saw it every day. It said, choose good friends because you tend to be like them.
Yeah.
And what I am so excited about with this community is kind of what you've hinted on already, is the honesty behind it. I've been shocked with how a lot of the feedback that we've gotten of how many people are saying, hey, I'm liking this because I'm in the same boat, or, hey, I can really relate to this, or I know somebody who's relating to this. And that was kind of the goal when going down this direction in the first place.
Yeah.
But when you get a community of people together that are all related in the same, not related, relatable in the same situation, and can be honest with each other, set goals with each other, the last thing we want is for this to be fake. Because that's the whole reason this kind of came about as well, is because we knew it's fake. Like, statistically, people are fake.
Yeah.
So you're hanging out with all your friends and people that you socialize with, and you're not being honest with them. So come be honest with us.
Yeah. The people we want in this group are people that are I call them level 5 friendships.
Yes.
Where you can get to the deepest level. It's like the deepest level of friendship, where you can talk relationships, you can talk business and finance and numbers. You're not afraid to talk about your income. I think it's so taboo especially for men. Mm-hmm. It's really taboo to share how much money you're making. It's really taboo to share if you're in debt, and if your business isn't succeeding, if your relationships aren't succeeding. Like, we don't want to talk about that. It's like an ego thing, and it's not healthy.
No.
It silos you. You don't want to talk to anybody about your problems, and you're probably not even talking to your spouse about the problems. And then you're trying to fight all this on your own.
And take it from someone like who went public with it. Like, it's actually been really like rejuvenating, and it's kind of taken a weight off my shoulders, because I fell in that category. Like, I tried to be honest, and I try to be as true to myself as I possibly can be. But at the end of the day, because it is taboo, I wasn't honest with how I lived my life to show where I really was in life.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to avoid, because that's what causes you to get in financial trouble. So when you try to live a fake life, that's not true to where you really are.
Yeah.
We want to get you to the point where you can live that life, but don't do it before you're ready. And so getting a group together is going to help us get to that point together. And so I'm freaking stoked for this. It's going to be a blast.
The group. And really I'm going to share, I actually want to share a story before we get into the kind of meaning behind possibly the name for the group, but really kind of the mission behind it and how we're kind of correlating it with the pursuit of wealth and what that truly means. But there's a little story I'm going to read that I saw. It goes like this. My dad warned me once. He said, life is just juggling balls. Some are rubber, some are glass. Work is rubber. Emails are rubber. Deadlines are rubber. Money is rubber. Drop those and they bounce back. But family and friends are glass. Your health is glass. Time is glass. Moments are glass. If you drop those, they don't bounce back. I didn't understand back then. I didn't realize he meant loss. He meant the way you miss dinners thinking you'll make up for it. The way you postpone visits to your parents. The way you tell your kids later without knowing how many laters you have. Because life doesn't take glass balls from you all at once. It cracks, chips, and shatters them while you're holding up rubber. In ordinary days, in tired evenings, in next week. And one day you look around and realize you're still holding the rubber while the glass lays broken at your feet. And adulthood is learning, often far too late, which ones we're never supposed to let fall. And the reason I really love that is we named this podcast The Pursuit of Wealth. And in today's, when people think about wealth, what do they think about today?
Money. Just how rich are you?
Status, money. If you look at somebody like, oh, they're wealthy, you think, oh, they're financially well off.
Nice cars, big house, boat.
It's like, but at the core of it, wealth, like the old English word for wealth was Wela. It's actually like W-E-L-A. And it means happiness, prosperity, and well-being. And it's not just about money. Like the key terms in there is well-being and I think happiness. And that's what we want for this group is everybody's on their own pursuit of wealth. Mm-hmm. And wealth can mean a wildly different, thing for you, for me. And we want to help people prosper in whatever they define wealth as, whether that's time with their family. We want the guys in this group, the guys, gals in this group to focus on their finances, getting those things in order, focus on their health, because at the end of the day, I look at wealth as like a three-legged stool, your finances, your health, and your relationships. And if all three of those, like if one of those legs gives out, you really don't have wealth. You just have money and relationships, or you just have your money and health with no relationship, but you want all three. That's how you feel grounded. That's how you feel sturdy, is when you have all three of those. And a lot of the times people, they drop, the other two legs to just pursue one leg. And it's like, can you have all three legs strong at the same time? And I think that's what we want to try to help this group do. And I think I'm just so excited for like what this could actually turn into and look like.
Well, and money can be a good tool for wealth. Like I want to emphasize, like, we're not going to shy away from the fact that like you need money.
Yeah.
Like we're going, the principles, at least when we entered this, new route of doing the podcast, my goal is like, Anthony, help me become a millionaire. Like I want to become a millionaire in this process. Right. So we're not shying away from that, but it doesn't matter if you make $1 million if you're not joyful by the end of the journey or even on the route to it.
Yeah.
And joy comes from the other things that you were saying, relationships and health. And so wealth can, like you said, it can mean a ton of different things, and your definition can change over time. The definition of wealth for me changed 3 years ago drastically. Lost my dad in a head-on collision. My best friend and hero was gone in a day, right? Like that morning. And my definition of wealth after that day changed drastically.
Yeah.
Like drastically. Prior to that, when I was sharing my journey, and I didn't mean to go down this rabbit hole, but I think it's important. Prior to that, a lot of my wealth goals were centered on transactional things, status, and I was willing to give up things. Like when we were doing a lot of the business things that we decided to do, like for example, when I mentioned we were doing the MLM, right?
Yeah.
I was willing to forego Thanksgiving. I was willing to skip Christmases because they're teaching you got to make sacrifices.
Grind.
Yeah, you just got to grind. I was willing to miss birthdays. I was willing to miss family reunions. Like I was willing to skip out on all those things for the pursuit of money.
Yeah.
Essentially, and building a business. Now those things are non-negotiable for me. And it's been fascinating how, as part of the three things, finances is one I want to work on, obviously.
Yeah.
And we're working on that. But the other two, my relationship one became grounded and sturdy. It is a non-negotiable for me, and I consider myself wealthy in that category.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah. Like it's been really, really, really life defining. And so wealth can change. Your definition of it can change as life goes on. So this pursuit is going to mean something different to everybody, which is why we want to get the group together.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be people that relate to me. There's going to be people that relate to you, people that may not relate to either one of us, but they're going to relate to somebody else in the room.
Yep.
It's going to be pretty cool.
I love that you shared that because money is a resource. Mm-hmm. Essentially, that's what it is. It's a resource and a tool to provide, like we've talked about, the freedom to then do what you want to do in life. And we're kind of having like, this is kind of turning into a finance podcast or, finance related. Mm-hmm. And I want to, this isn't a Dave Ramsey thing. I want to make that very clear. This is not like, this mastermind group is not going to be like, we're going to make you like have a budget and you don't spend money on entertainment and stuff. We want good financial principles. I don't live off of a budget. I talk about the burn rate and the priority of like having a burn rate that you can just stick with and lock in for an extended period of time. Like that will help you that'll help you reach your goals. And then if you can also have like some automated savings put away, like there's an easy way to set this up. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be as painful as like a Dave Ramsey mentality. The other thing is like, I'm really not going to push. We will talk about other ways to build wealth and invest in, whether that's 401ks and retirement plans, but I'm also not going to be the person that's like, I will probably encourage debt, like, cause I believe in real estate and I believe debt is a great tool to purchase real estate. And I don't totally agree with 401ks and Roth IRAs for this reason of like, let's say, I wouldn't say Roth IRAs, but like just in general, just contributing to a retirement plan. Mm-hmm. I was listening to a podcast this week that I sent to you as well. And it was with Brandon Turner from Bigger Pockets. And he shared at the beginning of it, just a story about this guy that did everything right, saved their money. Him and his wife were very frugal and, didn't spend money on the new cars, didn't, take the vacations. They're like, we're just going to sacrifice. We're going to put our heads down, sacrifice now for later. And, she said the wife made him a cake on his 62nd birthday that had, a 2 in it, which, only like two more years and then you can retire. And they laughed. And then we'll take the cruise and then we'll go to Italy and then we'll buy that beach house we've always wanted. And a year later, he didn't show up. He didn't come home from work. And he'd had a massive heart attack at work and died.
Brutal.
A year before retiring. Mm-hmm. And he sacrificed his whole life for retirement and then never made it to retirement. And so, yes, we want to have good money principles. I want you to also live your life now. I'm a big proponent. Like, don't get me wrong. I want you to go set this up so you have a financial system that is going to guarantee that you have money going towards your future. But then you also have money going towards you living the life and building the memories and having the moments with your family today. Mm-hmm. Because
it's called Centerline.
I don't know if I'd call it Centerline.
We're going to teach people about Centerline one of these days.
The Centerline that's probably a little bit too far this way. The Centerline life. Because I think my push is for you to, the importance of trying to get to your freedom number as quick as possible so that you can live the life that you want to live. Mm-hmm. There's that fisherman tale. I don't know if you've heard this story about the like Mexican fisherman.
Hit me with it.
So it's a Mexican fisherman who he would go out and fish in the morning, catch what he needed. You know, let's say he caught the food for the day, come home by 11, cook the food, eat it, spend time with his family. Mm-hmm. And they say like a Westerner, somebody from the West, America, let's say, came over and was like, well, why are you coming home at 11? If you're catching all these fish, how about you go out, fish until, dark, catch as many fish as you can. And then when you have enough fish, you can sell it. And when you sell all this fish, then you can buy another boat, and then you can get more guys that are going out there, and then everybody's, doing all this. And then you're, selling even more fish. So you're going to make all this money. And then in 20 years, you can retire. Mm-hmm. And then fish until 11, go home and spend time with your family. And it's kind of that framework of he's already living that life. So why build all this to then eventually go live that life? And I agree to a certain aspect of that. I think that what that doesn't entail is there is no safety, because he can live that life and it works right now.
But what if you don't catch fish that day?
Correct.
Yes.
And that is the flaw to that story, and that people don't talk about enough is, yes, that works right now, but what if there's like a drought and he goes 3 days without catching a fish? Well, then the family's really struggling.
Right.
So I think you have the responsibility to go out and secure and plan for your future, while also trying to manage living the best life you can through the process.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because there's such a fine line. I use the terminology center line a lot because it's the middle of both. You can't use the idea that, okay, I'm just going to prioritize family and be wealthy that way to justify not being a hard worker.
It's an excuse.
Or it becomes an excuse, and it's going to bite you in the butt at some point. While on the flip side, you can't say, okay, to your point, I'm going to do this work for 5 to 10 years and I'm not going to see my family for 5 to 10 years, because you don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow. And I guarantee you, anybody who's lost a loved one in their life would give up all the money in the world to have those people back.
Yep.
Like I wouldn't even think twice about it. Yeah. I'd give up everything financial wise to have my dad back. There's no question, right?
Yeah.
The secret and the, what's the word I'm looking for is like the goal in life is to find that balance between the two, to where you are growing financially while still maintaining good relationships, creating memories with people, and focusing on your health.
Yep.
That's the trick. And that looks different for everybody, which is what makes it cool and fun.
Yeah.
And that's why we're excited to get 20 people together to experience that.
And I think you can, and it's really easy. I'm a believer that I fought this for a long time, believing that it wasn't true, that you couldn't have it all. Mm-hmm. And it was because it was really hard to find somebody that did have it all. And we like to see, in order to believe something, we like to see it. Mm-hmm. And so, that analogy where nobody thought running a 4-minute mile was possible. And then as soon as somebody ran a 4-minute mile, it was like the next year, like 15 people ran it. Because it was like, oh, you're not going to die if you run a 15-minute or a 4-minute mile. Mm-hmm. I think it's the same thing in life. It's like when you can see that somebody else is doing it and you believe, then you can believe it's possible, and then you make the changes to do that. Mm-hmm. But if you have a limiting belief that you just don't even think it's possible, there's no way you can make money and have a strong relationship with your family and have good health. There's no way. It's like, well, that's a limiting belief, and it can be broken. You just need to be around the right people. They're going to help you break those limiting beliefs that you may have. Mm-hmm. And again, there are excuses too. It's like, well, you don't know. Like I feel like I couldn't do this prior to the last few years because, I was doing good in business, but I didn't have kids. Mm-hmm. And so you're always going to have the argument with somebody that's, well, you just wait till you have kids. And, oh, well, now I'm in a period of my life where it's like, okay, we have multiple businesses going. I'm in probably the best or close to the best shape I've been in for a long time. We just had twins this last year. So we have 3 kids now. twins. And if you've, don't even talk to me about having kids until you've had twins and how hard that is. So I feel like we're in a, like, there's no excuse you could throw at me that we haven't lived through now. And so, or currently going through. And so I think now I can really see, it's like, I used to make excuses too. And now I put all the blame on myself. I'm going to use this morning for an example. This morning, I had a busy day today. I set my alarm to get up early and I didn't freaking get up early. And I was kind of flustered. I had to leave the house early to get to my first appointment, and Bree could kind of tell I was like flustered, and I felt bad. I was trying to help out with the kids in the morning and let her sleep a little bit too. And anyway, she might've felt bad for seeing that I was rushing out the door at the end. But as soon as I left, I realized I sent her a text and just was like, hey, I want you to understand, none of this is your fault. I take 100% responsibility, for me running late, and I just didn't wake up. I should have woke up early. And I am really hard on myself with that. If I say I'm going to do something and I don't do it, I used to just, I set my alarm and I didn't go to the gym, and it was like, I'll try again tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, dude, I beat myself up for it because I want to hold myself accountable, and I take complete ownership of my life. If something isn't the way that I want it to be, that's my fault. Mm-hmm. When we first had our twins, our schedules were just it was really hard. It's hard to find time to go to the gym and do all these things. And I could have just accepted that this is a season of life that we're in. But again, that's just an excuse. There is a way to make it work. There's probably going to be some trade-offs. It's not going to be easy. But if you don't believe that there's a way for you to make it work, what is the alternative? You just throw your hands up and quit? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's just not possible. I'm just going to gain 400 pounds and blame that I have twins. No, you can't, you got to limit all those excuses. And the best way to do it is to be in an environment that's going to help you crush those excuses and develop good habits moving forward. There's James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits. Mm-hmm. He talked about this in a recent podcast that I listened to. He said, if you want to build better habits and get habits that stick, particularly for the long run, you want to join groups where the desired behavior is the normal behavior. Join groups where you can rise together, where the people that you're surrounded by have the type of habits that you want to have. And when you think about this from just an environment perspective, think about look at your environment and see what do people get rewarded for in your environment? What feels normal in your environment? And does your current environment, are there people that have the habits and behaviors that you want? Because if they don't, you're fighting against that friction of your environment. You're the odd duck out, and everybody else is doing, I'm going to use finances for it. Everybody else is buying the new cars and building the bigger houses, and you're going to want to fit in with your environment. As human beings, we want to fit in and belong. Mm-hmm. And you can fight that for as long as you can, but eventually it's it requires so much more energy to fight against your environment that eventually you're just going to want to go back and fit in and fit into what's normal and what feels natural. Uh-huh. And you look at you take this even to societal things, where people grow up. They're a product of their environment. Uh-huh. It's really hard to, if you grew up in the ghettos or the slums and all around you is, people doing drugs, and you don't save money. You live paycheck to paycheck, and when you get money, you go buy this stuff. We don't buy houses, we rent. Uh-huh. It's really hard to break out of that because your environment, that's all in your environment. And you feel like this odd duck out if you're trying to do something different. And so I think having a group where everybody in that group has the same desires and wants to have those same habits and behaviors, it makes it so much easier, because now if you don't have the same behaviors and desires and habits as the group, you're the odd one out. So now the pressure is not, you're not fighting against the pressure. If you don't do what everybody else is doing, the pressure that you're not going to fit in, that's going to probably cause you to keep those habits. And so I think like, I just am such a strong believer of your environment and how much impact it can have on your life. Everybody always says, hang out with, 4 losers, you'll be the 5th. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's just a saying, but it really is true.
Totally true.
It's really hard. I'll use an example because I fall victim to this as well. There's this is gonna be funny. There's a certain group of friends that I have that sometimes like to go to Fort Hall on a weekday. They're kind of degenerates. They like to go to Fort Hall on a weekday. Let's say a Wednesday. And sometimes I just want to hang out.
This is completely hypothetical.
This is completely hypothetical.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. I don't know who would actually do this. This is
Whoever they are,
situation.
Sounds like a good group of guys.
Good group of guys. But the thing is like, I really like spending time with these guys. Mm-hmm. And so when they go, I want to go, but I know that every time, like when I have gone out to gamble or do some things, like sometimes we have poker nights, mm-hmm. and I like having some poker nights, but even after some poker nights, I'm like, I don't really feel good about it. Like I don't wake up the next morning and I'm like, I feel really good. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I go do these things, or I want to do these things just because I want to hang out and be in an environment surrounded by friends. And so I'm like, well, if that group of friends was just doing other things that were, let's say, more productive, we'd go do more productive things, I'd feel better about it, and I'd still get to hang around in my group. But a lot of people just don't have that friend group that is doing productive things. Mm-hmm. So it's like, how many people, like my goal with this group of people that we can have with the podcast is like, I want to, maybe we get together and do some workouts, once a week. Maybe there's some nights, maybe a few nights a month that we'd go do like sauna and cold plunge. We want to like the behavior and the habits of the group as a whole. I want to be good habits.
And I think it's going to accomplish 2 things. So one, you've already hit on, like, you're just going to mold and become like each other. Yeah. Right. And if you're getting together with the same goals in mind, you're going to move that ship together. Mm-hmm. The other question I'm going to ask you, because, you've got multiple businesses set up, you've done a lot of investments. How many of those investments or businesses did you start with a stranger?
None
of them.
Yeah.
I honestly had no idea. So I was like, that's a genuine question. I'm not trying to set this up, right?
Yeah.
But the concept in my brain is like, it's going to naturally, because of all of us being like-minded and having the same goals, it's going to naturally help with fitness and goals and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I need to stop saying that. I've been saying all that stuff a lot.
It's your word.
But it's my word. Instead of I say all that stuff. So now they're going to keep track as they watch that podcast. But so you're keeping track of that. But then also the opportunity for the financial side of things, investments.
Absolutely.
You're going to feel comfortable with the people that you're surrounded by
to
do things like that with. And that's kind of the end goal too.
Yeah.
Is as we set goals with each other and as we gain finances and different things, you're going to want to invest with each other.
Yeah.
And so now you're kind of in it for the long haul. Like, we're really setting this platform up to create not just a community, but honestly, a friend group of people that we want to hang out with, eventually do business with, to where maybe we go to Hawaii together one year, and we're hanging out with each other for a week in Hawaii because we've made it.
100%.
Totally doable.
That is 100% the vision of it's a group that can do life together.
Right.
And that's where I really want to get specific on who's in the group and are you going to be willing to participate with everybody in the group? Be honest with the group. Are you actually going to show up? That's going to be a question. It's, right now kicking it off, like this is going to be the trial run. The first few months is going to be a trial run. Like we don't know what to truly expect with this. That's why it's free. Like we're just putting it together because we don't know what is or isn't going to come of it, how we're going to kind of mold it. But we know we want to get together monthly for a dinner / mastermind, we'll call it, where likely we'll probably bring in speakers that can talk on finance, that can talk on fitness, that can talk on relationships. And we're going to be openly, like we're going to share and we're going to have deep conversations. That is the goal. If you're not willing to have deep conversations and you're going to stay really shallow and have your guard up, it's probably not the group for you. I'd rather have, we said we want to get up, possibly 20 people. I'd rather have 10 people that are all in and dedicated to the group and are going to show up on time. They're going to be respectful of, the dates that we set and try as much as they can to show up to those and time block around them. And then also when we're at the events, they're not going to be distracted. Like I want you to actually participate and be where your feet are and be present, because that's where then everybody in the group gets value. Mm-hmm. And so it's not going to be just us lecturing or, teaching. It is going to be a group environment, and that's where we're going to get the most benefit. And from that, like we're going to do life together. There's probably businesses and relationships that are going to form from this group, investment opportunities, partnerships. There's people with different resources that might, if there's a guy running a construction company and a guy running, hey, I've got some land over here. And, there's always, every group that I've gone to, like, even if it's just like a little retreat, a weekend retreat, there's business relationships that form over that, a 3-day thing. So if this is a group that gets together monthly and is doing some fitness stuff, workouts together and doing all that stuff, it's going to be really cool to see what transpires from this group of individuals. And ultimately, like my goal is I just want to leave, hopefully everybody comes and they receive some kind of value. And there's going to be questions on this survey, like, and again, we want you to be totally open and transparent with it, is things that you're struggling with. Like we're not going to disclose this stuff to anybody, but we want to know, are there areas that we can help you? And because if you fill out the survey and everything's perfect, it's probably not a good fit either, because you're lying. Right. Like, if I fill out the survey, there's stuff I'm going to put that I struggle with still. And that's selfishly, like, this group is for my benefit too, because I feel like I'm going to be able to learn from people that come into this group, and I'm going to be able to share my struggles and get feedback. Like we have this, set up, mentor mentee kind of thing. Dude, I still come to you all the time with questions of, Jason, I want your input on this, your perspective on this. How would you think about this? You come to me on stuff that's not even work related. Dude, tell me whether or not I'm overreacting. Like, and that's what I want this men's group to be, is for you to have a resource of other guys that are doing life, that are going through the struggles, that you can lean on. That you can say, hey, this interaction with my spouse, what would you do? Or tell me, what did I do wrong here? Or I had this interaction, or man, I feel like I'm dropping the ball as a father and I'm not doing X, Y, Z. Hey, well, dude, I felt like that too. And I'm doing this now with my family and it's worked really well. Like there's going to be insights from all different directions that I hope we can gain from this.
Right.
And if you're not willing to like get to that level, like, I don't want to, it sounds like I'm pushing everybody away from this, but I truly want it to be impactful. And so like, if none of that resonates with you, then it's probably not the right fit. And I hope that we can find 10 guys at least in this area that want a group, a brotherhood, a community, a tribe that they can lean on. If you go back to like just us as human beings, like we're tribal creatures. We were, from the earliest stages of humanity, like we were tribes. We had tribes, communities around us, support. And I think the biggest thing that social media has done to our generation is dispersed that. There is no tribes. There's no community really anymore.
Right.
We have more friends on social media than we've ever had. We're connected to more people than we've ever been connected to.
Friend group on social media is not a tribe. No. But it's like you look at these people that have hundreds of thousands of followers and friends, and you're like, dude, they're so popular and they're lonely. Right.
I don't think we've never been lonelier in a society. Why is that? It's because we don't have community. We don't have tribes. We don't have people that we can actually, have deep conversations with. Everything is surface level. Everything is for show.
Right.
Everything is just posted on Instagram as a highlight. It's like, dude, that's not fulfilling.
It's fake too.
It's fake.
Yeah.
The best conversations I've had over the years are like the late night conversations where I have friends over and we were watching a football game and all of a sudden like we're just deep talking and it's midnight, 1 a.m. and it's like we're talking about life, we're talking about business, we're talking about investments, we're talking about opportunities. talking about family, talking about the future. Dude, that's what I love talking about. Mm-hmm. I almost sound like a psycho because sometimes like I hate talking just surface level. Like, how about them Cowboys? Oh yeah, you watched the Super Bowl this week? Dude, I can't. It's just not my, I hate that.
Right.
I want, when I have friends and I've gotten some recent friends, like in the last few years, one, for example, like we don't hang out a ton. We've started to hang out a little bit more, but over the years, like we've just kind of, it started off like I knew we were both friends with a mutual friend. And then we got to kind of know each other more. I actually had him on the podcast at one point, and that's kind of when things really kicked off. And then we started talking more, and we've hung out, and really like we just talk. From the get-go, we've always just been super open with each other. And now we're doing some investments together, and it's been so refreshing. And I think from his perspective too, it's been so refreshing he's closer friends with other people, but we have deeper conversations. Mm-hmm. He's not afraid to share his income or money goals or finance goals or any of that stuff. Talk business and what he's struggling with. Like he talks about that stuff with me. And I think that when you have, the more people you can have like that in your life, the funner life gets, and the less pressure it feels like you're just doing it on your own. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of the cure. Like I don't want, male depression is at an all-time high. Most men don't even have like 1 or 2 close friends that they would say. Really, entrepreneurship is lonely. We've talked about that. Like you're sacrificing a lot of relationships when you're starting out as an entrepreneur, and you don't know who to connect with. You don't know who to talk to. And a lot of the time you are the leader of a company or a business. You have to put on a front that everything is okay, even though you might be stressing on the back end. And then that just becomes normal. Mm-hmm. And it's not normal. Like you need an outlet in the support system throughout every stage. And even if you are super successful, there's probably some support you need in fitness. There's probably some support you need in your relationships. I value like your input on relationships a ton. You said you're wealthy in that. I truly believe you are wealthy in your relationships. Like you are a good father. You are a good husband. You know how to prioritize relationships. I've watched what you do and the things that you do with your mom. Like there's stuff that I can learn from you in that aspect. And I think there's stuff that you can share with other people in that aspect, and vice versa. There's people that own businesses or have invested that are going to be able to share with you and be like, hey, like this is how we invest in this, and teach you about, how to grow your net worth, or cash flow or whatever. So I think there's going to be people that like, I look at Brendan, my friend Brendan, he's, fitness nut, like super disciplined, all about fitness. He's the one that really got me into running recently. And that's totally changed my life. Mm-hmm. Like I've never been so consistent with running, and we're training, having that friend group. It's like I'm running my first marathon this year, and just having that goal has made me stay consistent with running. And we're all going to Hawaii. It's a group of 4 of us, and we're going to Hawaii. We're all going to run a marathon together, staying at Airbnbs. We're bringing all of our families, kids included, and it's going to be freaking awesome. That's going to be a core memory of this year.
I love that, because that starts like, let's dissect that just a sec. Because again, if you can't tell, we're super excited about this community, right? But it's because of what you just explained. It started with just you and Brendan getting together and going to the gym together.
Yeah.
And I remember kind of the early stages with that.
Yeah.
And he would text you on occasion, hey, you coming today? Or, hey, where are you at? Like, not because he's wanting to flex or make you feel bad. He genuinely cared and wanted you there, right? And now over the course of 2 to 3 years, what has that translated to? 100%. It's now translated to, holy freaking crap, you're going to Hawaii together to go run a marathon. Yeah. That's what this can accomplish. Does that mean we're going to go to Hawaii in 2 years? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's not
probably
on the table.
Yeah.
But what that can translate to, friendship wise, fitness wise, traveling, all of it. That is what we want.
And he's my insurance agent. Mm-hmm. We became really good friends. He's my insurance agent. I've helped him with real estate things. He is my team's go-to. Like, I've incorporated him into my whole world. Mm-hmm. He's everybody on our teams usually go to insurance agent now. Like those relationships become so valuable. And it's again, like, I just look at him as like, we're just doing life together. He's doing his own business and stuff, but like at the end of the day, like we're doing life together. And it's like, how many people can we do that with? I think the more people, like I would love to have 10 more friends like Brendan. We're all doing our thing, but we can lean on. I go to lunch with him and I'll be like, dude, he's not in real estate, but like he's got he's running his company. He's ran a sales team before. I ask him all the time, like I pick his brain on, dude, I don't know about this. And vice versa. He'll ask me about, dude, hiring and getting a new employee. Like it's so fun when you have those resources and people that you can connect with and they don't have, there's no really hidden agenda. We're just friends. I want him to win. He wants me to win. And we just want to make each other better. And so I think seeing what we've had within like certain friend groups that we've developed, like I want to make that friend group bigger and more successful. And you're right. Every partnership that I have right now started with a friend. Like we knew each other, we became friends. And as we became friends, we created opportunities together. Hey, you're good at this. I'm good at this. Let's partner and do this together. And so there's bound to be relationships like that come from a group like this. And so I'm just jacked because I think it can be super cool what we could build. And I think we can get a really good mix of different individuals that can bring a lot of different value. And then bringing in like, I'm going to share anybody that I have good relationships with that can come in and try to add value to this group as a whole. And so if you are interested, we're going to send out with this podcast. This podcast is coming out, I believe, beginning of March, probably. I think we're kind of 2 weeks ahead, but it'll be about the first week of March. We're going to send out this survey and we'll link it in the YouTube comments or whatever description. And I don't know if we can link it in the Spotify one. If not, DM us on Instagram and just say,
we'll share about it quite a bit on our social. I think
we'll share about it, but like DM us on Instagram that you're interested in the group and we'll send you the survey to fill out. Ideally we get those surveys filled out. I'm going to say by March 15th. Gives it by, I think this comes out March 5th. So it's about 10 days to get those surveys filled out. My goal is I would like to have the first dinner mastermind the end of March. And so depending on how many applications we can get in and submitted by the 10th, we can review those and then we can shoot out a date end of March that would work for everybody. Tentatively, I was planning for, it was like the very last.
This episode's coming out the 2nd.
This will be March 2nd, this post. Okay. So yeah. So
that's perfect.
Gives
you 2 weeks to fill out the link and get the surveys done, gives us time to review it.
Yep.
And then 2 weeks after that is when
we'd have our first get together. So, and on the survey, I'll probably put like our proposed date for that first one and just see, would you be able to attend or make this date work? But this group I think is going to be, I think can solve or help solve a lot of issues. When I look at, again, we've talked about these principles of building a strong financial foundation, building a healthy body. This stuff isn't rocket science. We know it's important. We know having strong relationships are important. The reason a lot of people don't succeed at those things is because they don't have a supportive environment or a tribe that is helping them achieve those goals. And it's really hard to do stuff alone. When you're trying to do it on your own, you get burnt out, just like in business. When you're trying to do everything on your own, it's really hard to get burnt out. When you have a group of people doing business with you and supporting you and having similar goals as you and holding you accountable, I don't want this isn't going to be a tear you down group. It's going to be a positive group. We're going to share and set some goals and share some strategies and ideas. And there'll probably be things that we'll want you to work on in between monthly sessions. And hopefully there's like a positive pressure. I'm going to say a positive peer pressure to develop these strong, these skills and these habits is really the goal. It's not a tear you down kind of pressure, but it's like, dude, everybody else in the group is doing it. Like hopefully you're going to want to also do that, or it's going to feel weird. And so that's kind of, be okay with people holding you accountable. Because if you come in and say you want to change your finances and we give you tools to do that, we expect you to hold yourself accountable and make those changes that are necessary. Same thing with fitness, same thing with your relationships. So anyway, that's kind of my spiel about this.
Yeah.
That we're going to put
We're
together.
excited for sure. Like this is the goal, right?
Yeah.
Selfishly, you said it, I'm saying it too. Selfishly, it's going to be really fun to connect with people, have some friends to bounce ideas off of. Like I'm at the beginning stages, I consider. And
Yeah.
you're still at stages where you're going to learn from people.
100%.
And so like, yeah, we're just going to be able to all grow together.
And turning this into eventually like some, a vision of some kind of retreats where we do go off and have like weekends getaways, whether that's in St. George or in Island Park, or doing things to really strengthen a bond between this group of individuals. Not just lectures and talking, but like doing activities together. I'd love for this group to, this isn't Jace's favorite thing, but like, go on some hikes and do some outdoor activities. They're going to put a little hair on your chest.
Yeah.
Develop you is I think now more than ever with where society is, we need to develop strong leaders.
Yep.
We need you, like now more than ever, you need to take control of your life. You need to take control of your family. You need to take control of your finances and make sure that you're positioned well, because you can't rely on the government. I mean, with everything that's coming out right now, you definitely cannot rely on the government.
No.
Nobody's coming to save you. You need to start taking ownership and be like, hey, I need to prep my family for whatever happens, and make sure that we have the resources we need if something happens. Make sure that I'm physically fit and able to protect my family or go do the work that I need to do if something happens, and make sure that I have strong relationships, because that's all that you get to take away in life. At the end of the day, when you're on your deathbed, you're not going to care about how much money you have. You're really not going to care about how you look. Hopefully being fit is going to make you live a little bit longer, but at the end of the day, you're not really going to care about how you look. You're going to care about how much time you spent with the people that you love. How strong are the relationships? How many people show up to your funeral? That's going to tell you how strong relationships and how much you prioritize those.
And that's the root of all three of the pillars that you explained. If you really dig deep in those things, the reason we want you to be financially successful is so that you have the freedom to develop relationships. The reason we want you to be fit, and that we all need to be fit, is like what you said, so you can be healthy, live longer, be happier, mentally strong, because that comes with being physically fit.
Yeah.
And then it's all centered towards finding joy, and joy comes from the relationships that you build in life.
Yeah.
That's the root.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you to go make money just to make money to buy things.
Correct.
If you want to buy things, I'll go for it,
It's fun.
But the true value of it is to be able to spend time doing the things that you love with the people that you love. And I look at, like, people say, I want to retire early. It's like, I don't really plan to ever retire. Like I believe in building a business and a life that you don't really want to retire from. But using the resources to really just focus on the things that you value and that you love, and surrounding yourself with the people you love. I get so much joy and energy and fulfillment from our team retreats. When we do our little team retreats, I feel freaking jacked after those weekends. I love it. And so like, I look at this as just another opportunity to have more of those experiences with a different set of individuals. Our team is awesome. I think we have an awesome culture. We've developed a fun and great community within our team. I look back at even like 2 years ago when we were doing there's that time when we were doing cold plunges and stuff at the gym. And it was like all of our sales guys were going to the gym, and we'd go sit we'd get there at like 6, we'd sit in the sauna, we'd go cold plunge, then we'd change and we'd go lift. And dude, for those few months that we were doing that, it was so like, it was awesome. Yes. Everybody felt happy. Everybody, like, it was just such a cool thing. And now I look at this group as like, I want to get back into that. And I want to get back into that with a group of individuals and just stay consistent. And we'll probably, like, if a group of us, Brendan and Kyle runs, like, if we're running and doing workouts a few days a week, we'll encourage you to come do them with us. If you can, if you can't, that's totally fine. But the opportunity is going to be there for you to join in and participate, because I feel like when you have a group, I never woke up and stuck to the gym and been that consistent than that period of time that we had everybody going. Because I felt like I needed to go, because if not, Jace was going to be sitting in the sauna by himself at 6 a.m. and I would feel bad. So like I needed to wake up so I could be there for him too. And I didn't want them to have to go cold plunge without, on their own. And so having just that little sense of responsibility and accountability to somebody else is going to make waking up that much easier. Right now, I'm not like, dude, I'm working out on my own, and it is really hard. That's why I freaking press the snooze button more than I should, because like, it's just me, and I can fit it in. I can fit it in later in the day, but it's like when you have a partner or somebody that's also counting on you, it changes the game.
Right.
And so anyway, I think this is gonna be a super fun group. So stay tuned for we should be announcing the first date here probably in the next episode. We'll announce the date for sure, but plan for the end of March. And if you're interested, shoot us a DM. We'll get you that survey. Fill it out as soon as you can. Like we said, we're going to limit this to like 10 to 20 people. The cost is nothing. This is a trial run. Hopefully this group turns into something really cool down the road. And you'd be one of the founding members of this group.
This is going to be sweet. I'm excited for this.
Love it. All right. Well, till next week, we'll catch you guys later.
Welcome to the chase where the champions dwell. To the grind, to the hustle, the pursuit of wealth.